Hey guys, so Lauren here, back again with another review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Zombie Captain America from the Marvel's What If / Watcher Build-A-Figure wave. And I'm going to just tell you this right now, spoiler alert, this is the only figure I plan on picking up from this particular wave, because while the What If stuff is cool as far as concept goes, it's just not for me. I'm kind of over seeing the same characters over and over and over and over and over again. I would much rather see some different characters, like, for example, Shang-Chi, who got a pretty decent movie, get more time in the limelight than the same old Avengers over and over and over and over. You know, I'm not going to repeat myself. But that said, what way to kick off the holiday season than the reanimated, rotting corpse of good old Steve Rogers, right? That's right. So with that being said, I know this wave is kind of old news by now. It came out quite a while ago, but I wanted to give my 2 cents on this figure since Marvel Zombies is actually a comic I am very much familiar with. I have one of the old issues somewhere in here. Again, much like the sword for Archer from Small Soldiers that I took a look at yesterday for Throwback Thursdays. I know I have stuff, but I don't particularly know where it is. I need to start an archive or something, because this is starting to become a problem. But at any rate, it had Thor fighting Silver Surfer, who was headless but holding his head in his hand like the Headless Horseman on the cover, which was pretty cool. But hopefully at some point we will get a Thor to go with this guy. I would imagine Thor was in that. No, I don't have Disney Plus to watch this stuff, so that's another reason I don't really care about it. But at the end of the day, I like cool action figures. I like zombies. I like Marvel Zombies. This was an obvious buy for me. So, with that being said, his only accessory, if I can find it, is his shield, which I've left off for the time being. I will put it on at the end of this kind of part of the review. Only because it's kind of loose fitting, because his arms are kind of skinny, because he's, dead. But it's an MCU style shield. It's got the straps on the back, which, why can't we get these shields with the comic version? Seriously. Take a look-see at him, though. That's it. He only comes with that. He doesn't even come with a B.A.F piece, which is good, because I didn't feel like getting rid of a B.A.F piece, which I probably wouldn't have been able to get rid of. This guy's loaded with sculpt. Really gnarly sculpt. Like, you could see through his legs. Like, can you see my hand through his legs? You can almost see my hand through his legs. He's got a chunk of meat missing off the side here. Looks like someone took a bite out of his hip. Then he's got his skeleton bones peeking through his legs there and there. He's got his rib cage showing here. He's got this arm, which is completely uncovered and all rotten and decayed there. This side, you can see his tattered sleeve from his uniform. He's got more rib cage poking off the back. And then he's got his lovely mug. Kind of reminds me of the Black Lantern Batman from the DC Direct Blackest Night line. Has a similar face to that. But a really cool looking figure. And he's also missing a boot on this side. You can see his rotten foot. It's all decayed and wasting away there. But as far as articulation on this guy goes, his head will look up, look down, tilt side to side. It is on, I believe. I can get this off. Double ball peg, which works pretty well. They're getting better with these. Still not perfect, but it's a lot better than it was when they first started utilizing them. So kudos for that. His shoulders go out to the side. They go back down. All the way around. There's a bicep swivel. Double joint at the elbow. Despite the tattered cloth, which they did a really nice job of hiding that. And then he's got a hinge in the wrist with a swivel. I will say this guy probably could have benefited from a bit of a wash, but considering the fact he is pinless, all new sculpt that they're not, most likely not going to be able to reuse, I'll let it slide just this once. But actually, I forgot to mention, it actually makes sense that you can do this with him, because he's already dead. Who cares if his head twists around all the way? And then as far as the diaphragm goes, you get good crunch out of it. Good back. Does rotate side to side a little bit. He's got some tilt. He's got a waist swivel. He's got hips that move forward, back, a little bit loose in the hips. That's about my only gripe with this figure, is a little bit loose in the hips. And then he moves out to the side pretty far. Does this side move out further because it doesn't have a chunk of meat? It kind of seems that way. He's got a thigh cut despite having these gappy thighs. Double joint at the knee. No rotation on this side, but this side you do get a boot swivel. And then you, of course, get the ankle hinge with the rocker and peg holes at the bottom of his feet. So there you go. And if you want to get the shield on, it's best to rotate the hand around and then slide it up his arm like this. Rotate the hand back around, kind of utilizing the hinge there. And, give the elbow a little bit of bend, a little bit of kink, so it won't fall off. Because, again, it is loose fitting on there, but it does stay for the most part. A very awkward figure, but it's what it's supposed to be. It's a zombie. It's not the standard cap we're used to seeing, which I do have a couple other caps we're going to compare this guy to. No MCU ones handy, but I do have a couple other comic-based ones handy. Because chances are this is one of my favorite Captain America figures I own, just because of how posable it is. The only thing he doesn't have, really, is butterfly joints. So, yeah, I really dig this figure. I think it's a cool concept, cool idea. You're going to want to kick the torso this way a bit if you want him to sit straight, however. Because since he has a boot on one leg and no boot on the other, his one leg is obviously going to be a little bit longer than the other, which makes perfect sense. So there you go. It's got a bit of tilt to him, but again, it works in his favor because he's a zombie. So with that being said, let's take a look at some comparisons. First up, and as promised, here's the new-ish, no, who am I kidding, this is old news, Zombie Captain America, next to a couple other Captain America figures I have. My two favorite Captain America figures I have, to be exact. We have the 80th anniversary Alex Ross style cap with an MCU shield because, well, it's bigger and looks nicer than the one he came with. Sorry, not sorry. And then we also have the Venomized Captain America, because if there are any good variants of Marvel characters, it's either zombified or Venomized, or Ghost Riderized, but that's not a thing, unfortunately. And as you can see, this cap is a little bit short, but that's how the MCU stuff kind of rolls these days, so I'll let that slide. That said, I would really like to see a comic zombie Captain America and Marvel Legends someday, because while I know there are Marvel Select Marvel zombies, they are quite expensive nowadays, and while I still wouldn't mind having those regardless, I ain't rich. I just ain't. And last but certainly not least, we have our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus, the MK11 Spawn, who as usual towers over everybody. So with that being said, time to wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and while I may not be so into the MCU-style figures anymore from the Marvel Legends line, this technically is an MCU. But at the same time, it technically is. So, question mark? I don't know. You guys decide. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. But at any rate, this is quite possibly one of the best Marvel Legends I've picked up all year. Mostly because it is Zombie Captain America. I mean, I cannot believe we are getting something this cool in a line that just seems to have been kind of for the majority of the year. I mean, we've gotten some really nice releases, but nothing this outside the box. So for that reason alone, I would highly recommend you pick this guy up. I think he's really, really cool. I'm looking forward to the Iron Man, the zombie Iron Man, that's been leaked in a upcoming What If or MCU style wave in the next year or so. I'm curious what that one will look like because, again, I haven't seen What If. I don't really care to. It's a cool concept, but just not for me. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you are so inclined, please hit that notification bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one, because we've got to show that algorithm who's boss, right? And if you haven't already, hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions. But as always, keep comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.